Mike Pence, Nancy Pelosi, and Mitch McConnell all say that they're going to take the vaccine. That means that you should too, so take for that what you will. AOC talks about sex work being work. Joe Exotic sues the Trump administration over the fact that he could not get a pardon. So we'll talk just a bit about what's going on there, and could we finally have some answers with Ahmaud Arbery. I'm Jay Edgar, and this is Contemporary. Good morning, folks. Happy Friday. Welcome to Contemporary. My name is Jay Edgar. Sorry for the late start. It does appear that I may need to upgrade some equipment at this point here because I actually set up all my news articles last night, but I didn't organize them, and it took me longer to organize them than it took them to set it up because I was running way out of memory. The whole time I was trying to do this, I was just watching the RAM go by on the task manager and 95, 96, 98% the whole time. So yeah, it might be time. So, shameless plug there. The link is in the description below for the PayPal. Toss me a couple bucks. Help me get that new computer fund coming up here because, you know, the old HP, she's done really well. But it might be time. It might be time to actually spend some money and do something for this because you guys love to watch it. And I appreciate the fact that you guys come in here every day. So I want to get some better equipment and get up there and keep you guys going here. Also, if you are lurking today is the day that I thank everybody who watches. So if you are lurking and you're over on Facebook and you're lurking, get on into one of the links above you and leave at least one message in the chat. Because then you can come back and see, and I will answer you. I have the names on my notebook of everybody who chatted through the week, and except for Wednesday, you guys were pretty busy this week, so got a bunch of names to read, a bunch of people to thank, so thank you to everybody in advance, but I will read your names individually through this. And before we get started, head on over to freedomscoop.com. Freedomscoop.com is going to be your one-stop shop for all of your news and commentary needs, carrying great shows such as The Generational Gap, The Daily Ignoramus, The R-Rated Conservative, The Freckles and Brit Show, and The Breakdown with Birkenhoff. Go on out there, check out all those shows. They're all great shows. They're all great friends to have. So go on over there, check out some of their stuff, pick up some of our swag, and help us support great creators. All right, in stocks news, which I picked up at the last second, because I always do, but it looks like we fell down below the close once again. 303.37 was going to be the close. It looks like the futures on the Dow might be up, but everything else looks like it was looking down throughout the day because nobody knows what's going to happen with the stimulus. And I mean, to an extent, I still don't think we know what's going to happen with the presidency. I know what the mainstream media wants you to know and what they want you to think, but you know, it's a reality show. What do we know about reality shows? They give you that twist right at the end. So we don't know. We're looking at lockdowns, we're looking at vaccines, and we're looking at vaccines that aren't going to change the lockdown. So we will see what happens there. Let's see what IBD has to say. Let's see if they actually let me read this article. They were holding the articles open to read throughout the week, like up until I got on camera, and then they were flashing me this is the paywall article. So let's see if these cheap bastards will let me read this one today. From IBD, Dow Jones Futures awaits stimulus deal. Buckle up for Tesla's huge day, from Ed Carson. Dow Jones Futures were little changed versus fair value Friday morning, along with the S&P 500 futures and NASDAQ futures, with traders awaiting a stimulus deal and huge day for Tesla stock. The stock market rally hit fresh highs Thursday, with the stimulus deal seemingly close. Tesla surged to a record high amid a credit rating upgrade, with Lululemon and DraftKings among new breakouts. What, did everybody go back to fucking sports? Why is DraftKings going back up again? Especially with people not having any money. And we'll talk a little bit about streaming services and no money and everything else that goes along with that. The Moderna coronavirus vaccine and FedEx earnings were in the news late Thursday. Tesla stock will be in focus on Friday as index funds likely load up on shares before it joins the S&P 500 index before Monday's open. After the close, the FDA advisory panel overwhelmingly recommended the Moderna coronavirus vaccine for emergency use. The FDA said it would move rapidly on approval, With a decision likely today, on December 10th, an FDA panel backed the coronavirus vaccine from Pfizer and BioNTech. With FDA approval coming December 11th, vaccinations start on Monday. Moderna edged lower on Friday morning, that following strong gains on Thursday. FedEx earnings easily beat views amid the online shopping boom. However, the shipping giant didn't give guidance. FedEx stock fell early Friday from near a buy point. FedEx rival UPS also retreated in extended trade after just closing in a buy range. Tesla stock jumped yet again Thursday to all-time fresh highs as it continues to a huge run-up on the S&P 500 index news. A Standard & Poor's credit upgrade also helped the Tesla stock. Shares tilted higher in inactive trade before the open. Meanwhile, EPAM Systems, Exact Sciences, Lululemon, Cerence, Asana, and DraftKings all broke out or cleared early entries on Thursday. Tesla and DraftKings stock are on the IBD leaderboard. Exact Sciences stock is on Swing Trader. EPAM stock is on the IBD long-term leaders. Cerence is on the IBD 50. On the futures, Dow futures fell 0.1% versus fair value. S&P 500 futures edged lower, and NASDAQ 100 futures tilted higher. Remember, overnight action in Dow futures and elsewhere doesn't necessarily translate into actual trading in the next regular stock market session. So, nobody knows what's going on here. Apparently people are going back and doing their fantasy football again. I know there are dedicated fans. I know Brady Leonard from the No Gimmicks podcast never stopped doing football. He never stopped. Which is cool. It's admirable. I couldn't do the social media messaging. Plus, look at all the other stuff I can get done on a Sunday now. So, a couple good things with that. But yeah, the football boycott may be over. People are going back to look at, well, what can I do with my family and take up my whole Sunday? So, we'll see what happens there. CNBC's got 5 things you should know before the stock market opens. Here are the most important news, trends, and analysis that investors need to start their trading day. Wall Street set for a steady open after Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ closed at records. No, they fell down. We looked at the chart. They were down. They were a little changed on Friday, with Wall Street wondering whether Capitol Hill can deliver the new COVID-19 stimulus package and a spending bill before government funding authorization ends at midnight. What do they do? Just a 7-day stopgap? Because I was told that this was supposed to happen on December 11th, that we were supposed to run out of money. But hey, we're going to run out of money again. Bitcoin traded above 23,000 overnight, which is a little change from yesterday after topping that level for the first time ever Thursday. Moderna on track to become the second COVID vaccine approved for U.S. for emergency use. Go get your vaccine. Stick that needle in your arm, as Ronnie Van Zant said. Wait, I used that joke yesterday. Well, still, stick that needle in your arm. Moderna's coronavirus vaccine on Thursday received positive recommendation from an FDA panel. Well, we'll talk about that. J&J says its first late-stage vaccine trial fully enrolled with 45,000 participants. Number 3 is coming to the market. Still not taking it. Number 4 coronavirus deaths in the U.S. topped 3,000 for the 4th time this month. Didn't somebody in those numbers get shot in the ghetto? And they counted it as a COVID death? I need a citation on these numbers. I need a citation on these numbers because I don't trust a goddamn word of this. FedEx earnings beat, but shares dropped. Tesla set to join the S&P 500. Yeah, they've been teasing that for 2 months. So, that's what you need to know, according to CNBC, before the markets open on Friday. Trade accordingly, or tell your investor that manages your retirement fund or your 401k to trade accordingly. All right, let's get into the news. Starting with your elites and what they think you should be doing. Vice President Pence to receive televised vaccine shot, from Jonathan Swan. Well, if Mike Pence gets it on TV, doesn't that make you want to go and get it too? Don't you want to go and get the coronavirus vaccine? Vice President Mike Pence planned to receive his coronavirus vaccine shot on camera Friday morning at the White House to build vaccine confidence, among the American people, according to an administration official with direct knowledge of the plans. Details are still being worked out, but Pence wants the TV networks to carry the moment live in the morning, the source said, to maximize the audience for the vaccination. The vice president, who has led the White House coronavirus task force, will be joined by Second Lady Karen Pence and Surgeon General Jerome Adams. The Surgeon General is one of the highest-ranking African-American officials of the U.S. government and has been trying to instill vaccine confidence in communities of color. Adams plans to appear in a town hall later this week as a part of his vaccine outreach to African Americans, the source added. By the numbers, as Axios' Margaret Talev reported, the share of Americans who say they'll get the COVID-19 vaccine as soon as it's available has doubled since September, with more than 1 in 4 now putting their hands up, per se. The latest installment of the Axios Ipsos Coronavirus Index. Overall, 27% of respondents in Wave 33 of our weekly national poll says they'll plan to get the vaccine as soon as it's available to them, up from 13% in September. Another 11% say they'll get it in a few weeks after. 25% say a few months after, and 15% say they'll wait a year or longer. Even if I was to get it, I would probably be in that last group. And I'm not saying I'm going to get it, but if I was going to get it, I would be in that last group. Let's let some of these guinea pigs run out there and get this first. Let's go ahead and do that. Let a few of these people go out and stick that needle in their arm, see what actually happens when it's going out into the general population. I'm kind of cautious that way. I don't know. On the other side, 29% of black Americans, 26% of Republicans, and 21% of overall respondents say they don't plan to get the vaccine no matter how much time passes. Talev reported. Yeah, I'm in that camp. When they started talking about mandating, that's when I said, yeah, no, I have no interest in this. What's the meme say too? Imagine a vaccine that's so safe that you have to have a government mandate to get it. For a disease that's so deadly that you have to be tested to make sure that you have it. Imagine a world in which this happens. In Congress, though, from CNN, Pelosi and McConnell say they will get the COVID vaccine in the coming days. From Ted Barrett and Carolyn Kennedy. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell announced separately Thursday that they will both be receiving the coronavirus vaccine within days. With confidence in the vaccine, at the direction of the attending physician, I plan to receive the vaccine in the next few days, Pelosi said in a statement. McConnell, meanwhile, said in his statement that because of government continuity requirements, I have been informed by the Office of the Attending Physician that I am eligible for a COVID-19 vaccine, which I will accept in the coming days. CNN has reached out to offices of other congressional leadership, Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, about whether they too will get vaccinated. What is it that Rush likes to call Schumer? I haven't listened to Rush in for fucking ever. What is it that he used to like? First off, is he still alive? That's the first thing I should be checking, because I have no idea. Like I said, it's been a good solid 2 months since I've listened to the Rush Limbaugh show in any capacity whatsoever. What was he used to say about Schumer? Chuck you, Schumer! All members of Congress will be eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccine, because of course they will. We will get it before you plebs down there in the unwashed masses will get it. According to a memo from the Capitol attending physician Brian Monahan and a news release from Pelosi. I've been notified by the National Security Council that, consistent with the Presidential Policy Directive 40, Congress and the Supreme Court, along with the executive branch agencies, will be provided with a specific number of COVID-19 vaccine doses. To meet long-standing requirements for continuity of government operations, those requirements are focused on essential operations and personnel. And I know that I've got a friend who's got a kid that's got type 1 diabetes, and I mean, he's 6, which is the time when they're not even transmitting this thing. But because her kid has got type 1 diabetes, he's eligible to get the vaccine. And she said right out, you know what? No, I'm not going to have my kid go out and get this vaccine because I don't want him to be the guinea pig. And I just looked up and I said, well, I mean, look at the plus side, though. You will always be able to track his every movement with the 5G tracker when they put it in there. So, your elites are getting the vaccine. Why aren't you? Why aren't you? Come on. They're telling you that it's safe. All right, let's keep going here from the Hill. Josh Hawley. Hawley trying to force vote on proposal for $1,200 stimulus checks from Jordan Kearney. Senator Josh Hawley said he will go to the floor on Friday to ask for a vote on his proposal to provide a second round of $1,200 stimulus checks. Show me the money, Lebowski. Come on. Show me the money. Show me the money. Where's this coming from? Tomorrow I will go to the Senate floor to ask for an up or down vote on my bill to provide a direct payment of $1,200 to working Americans, $2,400 for couples, $500 for kids, Hawley said in a tweet. Hawley added, it's for the COVID relief working families need. Or, hear me out, open the businesses. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. You have played this fear porn to death. And the people who do give a fuck, well, they can stay home. Hawley introduced legislation earlier this month to provide a second $1,200 stimulus check in language that would mirror language included in the March CARES Act. He's also teamed up with Senator Bernie Sanders, because why the fuck wouldn't he, to try and get it passed by the end of the year as part of a sweeping agreement, which is still being negotiated, to fund the government and provide long-stalled coronavirus relief. Yes, Josh Hawley came out and said, I'm going to give free money. Who can I talk to try and get this passed that is all about free stuff? I know. Bernie Sanders. That fucking dude. Let's go get that dude on board. And Bernie Sanders said, nothing, you idiots. Bernie Sanders dead. He's locked in my basement. But in reality, Bernie Sanders looked up and said, well, don't you know that we can just we take the money from the billionaires. We shall leave the millionaires alone, but we will take the money from the billionaires, and we will give it to the people. And nothing will go wrong with this. Nothing at all. And everybody will have pudding cups. We will have pudding cups for everybody. Under the Senate rules, any one senator can ask for a vote, but any one senator can object. Thank you, Hawley, for proposing free stuff. That whole denying Austin Peterson the Senate seat. Probably looking a little bit shitty right now. All right. From Fox News. This is an entertaining one from everybody's favorite Democratic socialist. AOC responds, sex work is work. To report a NYC paramedic posting racy photos for cash. This one is a couple days old, but we were so packed up with news yesterday that I couldn't even throw it on there. This is from Dom Colicchio. U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez responded Tuesday night to a report that a New York City paramedic was supplementing her income during the coronavirus pandemic by working for a racy website. Sex work is work, Ocasio-Cortez wrote, retweeting a Rolling Stone magazine story that accused the New York Post of shaming the paramedic, 23-year-old Lauren Kwai, for posting content to the OnlyFans site in order to earn extra money. The New York Socialist said any shame should be directed at the federal government, not at sex workers. The federal government has done almost nothing to help people in months, Ocasio-Cortez wrote. We must pass stimulus checks, okay? UI, small biz relief, hospital funding, etc. And down further on this tweet, I'm not going to show it because it's in the Discord. I actually should have brought this up for this. But let me get the Discord up here, and I can read another one that popped up from this that, just will disturb the shit out of you. Let me see how long that takes to load, because we are running up on a... Yeah, so this tweet here popped up. This was subtweeted in the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez one. Thomas the Divorce Trader said, "My daughter is on OnlyFans, Pornhub, and more, and she's thriving. I'm the proud father of a sex worker." And then apparently he got some pushback for that because he commented back out, "For all you insecure bigots wondering if I watch her content, of course I do. Why would you not support your daughter's work? She is happy doing what she does. Thus, I am happy for her and her husband." It's in the rules that you're not supposed to show anything, screenshot, or show anything else anywhere else in the world that comes out of my Discord. But I don't think Elaine would mind that I tell her, or that I tell you guys rather, that her reaction to this was 6 puking face emojis. And by the way, just a reminder that Elaine will not be here this coming Monday. We will be moving the show to 7 p.m. and Harvey McLeod will be sitting in her place. All right, let's get the live chat back up here. Let's keep going. "Keep the focus of shame there," Ocasio-Cortez added. "Not on marginalizing people surviving pandemic without help." Earlier this month, Ocasio-Cortez found herself agreeing with Republican U.S. Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri, who has also called for stimulus checks for ordinary Americans to be part of the next coronavirus relief bill. "I will gladly work with AOC and anyone else who wants to help working families. Families are working people in need and should be the first consideration in COVID relief, not the last," Hawley wrote on Twitter on December 4th. Or, I don't know, you could just not get the government involved. Considering that we're borrowing this money from China. And nobody pointed out the fact that the national debt went up $6 trillion when they passed the $6 trillion CARES Act. But yes, sex work is work. Remember that. Put the shame on the government. Well, you should put the shame on the government anyway. The shame should always be on the government first. But if you want more stuff on how to view sex work and how you want to feel about that, I recommend you check out my highly, highly Christian friend, Stephen Ignoramus. I recommend that one. Force him into this conversation because, you know what? I want to see his reaction. Because I bet you it'll be hilarious. All right. Speaking of the Gibbs. From the Blaze, left-wing senator wants Netflix, Disney, and other online streamers to give away their products for free, so Americans will stay home. From Chris Field, Democrats really, really, really want people to stay home for the COVID holidays. They have repeatedly used sticks to attempt to get Americans to not leave their residencies, including instituting curfews, shutting down restaurants, closing churches, and even threatening more stay-at-home lockdown orders. Now, left-wing Senator Angus King, independent of Maine, is looking for carrots, and he's trying to convince online entertainment streamers to help out. In a letter on Monday to the heads of Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Apple Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max, King laid out the case for these companies to give away their products for free. For the greater good. Yeah, that sounds like an independent out of Maine. Take away the means of production and give it away. For the greater good. As organizations around the country continue to respond to the spread of the novel coronavirus or COVID-19, I'm reaching out to discuss and consider the unique role that your companies play in providing content-based activities this holiday season. Specifically, I encourage you to temporarily remove any cost considerations for use of your services for current non-subscribers as a public service to those who are seeking to remain safe and indoors this holiday season, as opposed to the risks involved as the nation sees a dramatic surge in pandemic cases. The CDC has issued guidance recommending that specific community actions be taken to limit exposure of the virus, and has additionally encouraged Americans to avoid their usual holiday travel to reduce transmission of the coronavirus. We believe that your companies are in a unique position to help families cope with the effects of this health emergency on typical holiday traditions. Yeah, that actually happened. Contemporary, by the way, will always be free. So I recommend if you're staying in for the holidays, you check out Contemporary instead. We will be doing a show on Friday morning, come hell or high water. I will find a way. We'll take live chat and we'll do calls. We will find a way to do this. Don't know how yet, but we will find a way. So that's what we are seeing from that. From Fox Business. Barstool's Dave Portnoy launches $500,000 fund to aid small businesses hit by the pandemic. From Thomas Barabi. Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy said Thursday that his company has started a relief fund to aid small businesses struggling to stay afloat during the coronavirus pandemic. Portnoy said the initiative, dubbed the Barstool Fund, will contribute $500,000 towards small businesses in need of financial lifeline. Companies can apply for assistance with the needs such as rent or tax payments by sharing their stories by email, so long as they have continued to pay their employees throughout the pandemic. If you meet that and you're a small business that's been around for a little bit, or maybe not, but if it's a gym, restaurant, bar, and you're not going to be able to survive the next couple months, send us an email, Portnoy said. The Barstool Sports founder has criticized government officials for imposing restrictions that made it difficult for businesses to operate during the pandemic. Earlier this month, Portnoy took aim at the New York governor, Andrew Cuomo, for following his decision to temporarily ban indoor dining at New York City restaurants, arguing in a viral video that politicians are stealing the basic rights to earn a living. Portnoy said Barstool will continue to financially support any company selected to receive assistance through the Small Business Fund until their needs are met. He identified Borelli's, a restaurant based in Long Island, whose owner, Frank Borelli, has maintained payroll throughout the pandemic, as the perfect example of the type of small business that would qualify. I wonder if we could do something like this. Do you think you guys could help me out in doing something like this over in the live chat? Getting the word out, and possibly we could either make our own fund or pad the Portnoy Fund. One or the other, to try and help this go a little bit further, to try and help a few more businesses out of something like this, or to do something locally as well. Let's start tossing some ideas around. Some of you guys can reach out to me personally, and we will see if we can start doing some stuff like that. Maybe get some west suburb, Chicago area businesses going, some places in southern Wisconsin. Maybe get some of this to some of the businesses down in Oklahoma, where I know one of our regular viewers lives, a little bit down in Atlanta. Let's brainstorm about this. Let's see if we can find something to do with this. All right. So that's what they're doing with Barstool Sports. Going back to some vaccine news. Alaska healthcare worker hospitalized overnight, and another received brief emergency treatment after COVID-19 vaccine. From Morgan Krakow. Hey, don't you want to get that vaccine? This is from Anchorage Daily News. A Juneau healthcare worker was hospitalized and treated for serious allergic reaction after receiving the COVID-19 vaccine Tuesday, hospital and health officials said Wednesday morning. Wednesday evening, hospital officials reported that another worker who received a vaccine at the hospital that day received brief emergency treatment as well, but did not experience anaphylaxis or what's known as life-threatening allergic reaction. Multiple healthcare workers and officials were adamant about the importance of people continuing to receive the vaccine, and the state's top health officials said no changes to the vaccination plan were expected. The Juneau worker felt flush and took an antihistamine around 10 minutes after receiving the vaccine. Tuesday afternoon, authorities said she felt short of breath and was transferred to the emergency room, said Dr. Lindy Jones, emergency room medical director at the Bartlett Regional Hospital in Juneau. Now, it's important to note that this particular healthcare worker had never experienced any sort of allergy complications from a vaccine before. So I don't know if this is coming out and exacerbating certain things that people have to go through as far as their allergic reactions, or if this is something that's a definite side effect of the virus, or not the virus, but the vaccine. I don't know. And like I say, I'm not an anti-vax person. I'm not. I will take vaccines if I think that they'll do the good for me. But I've seen people get the flu vaccine and still get the flu. I've never been in such a situation that the flu vaccine will slow me down enough that it's worth it for me to go out and get the flu vaccine. And as far as this coronavirus vaccine, they just jammed it through too fast for me to be comfortable with. We don't know what long-term effects of this thing could be because there haven't been long-term uses of it, to put it mildly. But the big thing with this, and the thing that kind of pisses me off with the vaccine, is there are people out there that want to take the vaccine. They want to take it as soon as it's out there. They wanted to be the ones that were up there as soon as the trial started, just say, give me the vaccine so I can go back to work. And one, Donald John Trump, passed the Right to Try Act. I believe it was the first year of his presidency. So under that act, those people should have been able to go up and take the vaccine, untested, if they really, really wanted to. And we actually could have probably had a lot more long-term effects. Well, not long-term, because the coronavirus has only been out for a year, but we could have had a lot more long-term effects with this. So we could have had a lot more long-term testing. We could have had a lot more people out there walking around with this, deciding whether or not that they want to wear the mask, go engage in commerce, or any other number of things. But they jammed this thing through too fast. I wouldn't have taken it. I wouldn't have been on the right to try list either. But people should have been able to. All right. But that's what we're seeing out of Anchorage. Got another one here from Fox, which is going to reload. Hunter. Got some Hunter Biden news. Hunter Associates texts hint at push to get Joe involved. They've got news for us, people. Disable your ad blocker. Makes it look like truly family business. From Brooke Singman. Hunter Biden's former business associates were hinting at a push to get Joe involved in a joint venture with Chinese energy company CEFC and make the venture appear as truly a family business to the Chinese, according to text messages obtained and reviewed by Fox News. In text messages dating back to 2017, Hunter's now ex-associate, James Gilliar and Tony Bobulinski, discussed a breakdown of the joint venture with CEFC's the stakes and appeared to hint at discussions about getting the now president-elect involved. In a back and forth over the terms of the company, Gilliar, in a May 11, 2017 text message to Bobulinski, wrote, "Man, you are right. Let's get the company set up and tell H and family that the high stakes and get Joe involved." Come on, man. It was unclear how the group, which included Gilliar, Bobulinski, Hunter Biden, Jim Biden, and Rob Walker, may have intended to get Biden involved. Biden has repeatedly denied getting involved with his son's business dealings. In another exchange, Bobulinski, in a text message to Gilliar on April 30th, 2017, asked, "What is the deal with Jim Biden? I mean, come on, man. What is the deal?" As he wasn't part of the discussion, but now seems a focal point. Gilliar replied, "With H demons, could be good to have backup. He strengthens our USP to China, as it looks like a truly family business. And you know what? I like the dude." Dude, who uses a BlackBerry still? I can't believe they still make those things. USP in business dealings typically stands for unique selling proposition, which means having influence that has once been in the White House and knows the swamp. From what I can take off of this, but this could come out and say that Joe Biden wasn't involved, but I've got this feeling that he's going to make it to Inauguration Day, and we're never going to know to begin with. So, yeah, it looks like it's possible that they were trying to get Big Joe involved if he wasn't already. All right, from The Hill. Ocasio-Cortez hits back at Rubio over criticisms of Biden's incoming deputy chief. From Cameron Jenkins. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, D-Twitch, on Thursday became... Wow, I can read. Came to the defense of President-elect Joe Biden's incoming deputy chief of staff amid GOP criticism of the top aides' explicit remarks about Republicans. Ocasio-Cortez, the honored senator from New York, who represents Twitch and all the people across the country, weighed in after Senator Marco Rubio knocked Biden's campaign manager, Jen O'Malley Dillon, for calling GOP lawmakers a bunch of fuckers in a recent interview with Glamour magazine. This is great, and I'm going to tell you why in just a second. Marco Rubio tweets out, Biden thinks or talks about unity and healing, but you want to know what they really think? Read how the person he wants as the next White House Deputy Chief of Staff called Republicans in Congress a bunch of fuckers. OcasioCortez pushed back, pointing to an incident earlier this year when a House Republican accosted her on Capitol Hills and uttered, "fucking bitch." At Marco Rubio, you stood in total silence when your GOP colleague called a congresswoman a fucking bitch on the Capitol steps in front of the press, she wrote. You weren't big enough to speak then, and you don't get to sob now. Well, here's the counter to that. You cried bloody fucking murder when somebody, and I've never seen any proof of this, by the way, either, but when somebody allegedly called you a fucking bitch, you cried bloody murder. You said it was time to shut the government down. That it was time to eject all Republicans from every aspect of life. You were calling for the secession of this country when somebody dared to call you a fucking bitch. You don't get to fucking cry about this. You don't get to cry that this is above board. Because you cried big alligator tears when it happened to you. So no. Fuck yourself. Absolutely 100% fuck yourself on that. So that's what we're seeing from that. And a little bit more of that drama from Fox News. AOC hits back at Marco Rubio for calling out fuckers comment. That is the right word. I think this is going to be the same article, just from a different outlet. We might skip this. We're going to skip this one. This is the same article. All right. So we'll get rid of that one and move on to the New York Post. I said we'll move on to the New York Post. Not responding. Throw a couple bucks into that PayPal, folks. Help out. Help out a guy. Help me make a better show for you guys. Come on. Just a couple. Help me help you. There it goes. Now it decided to react. Representative Joe Cunningham cracks open a beer during a House speech. I don't care that this dude's a fucking Democrat. That's my kind of dude right there. That's the kind of shit that I would do if I got elected to a public office. Maybe he was trying to make a point, or maybe he just really likes to drink on the job. South Carolina Representative Joe Cunningham cracked open a beer on the House floor Thursday in an unusual stunt to encourage bipartisanship after he trashed colleagues as shameless partisans and liars. The 38-year-old Democrat smuggled beer onto the House floor in his suit jacket's pocket. In 2019, he was stopped from bringing a six-pack into the House for a similar speech. The single-term congressman chastised his fellow politicians for being divisive before recommending bipartisan drinks. In my short tenure, I've been disappointed with a lot that I've encountered. I've seen members of consistently put their party ahead of their own people, embracing conspiracy theories or arguments detached from reality, while knowing better and sometimes admitting so privately, Cunningham said. I've seen members mock the president behind his back and praise him to his face, loathe him in private and worship him on television. Yeah, that sounds about like Congress. I've seen them intentionally spread misinformation and lies, flirt with white supremacists, and pander to the most extreme voices in our society. This sounds like a sermon. I'm sorry. Cunningham said, people are more interested in protecting themselves and their party than protecting our country. Such reckless and selfish behavior has created a system where most politicians can't lose and most Americans can't win. The lawyer from coastal South Carolina lost re-election in November to Republican Representative-elect Nancy Mace. The label on his beer was not visible to C-SPAN viewers. Before cracking open the drink, Cunningham said, "My grandfather always told me you can get through about any problem if you actually sit down with somebody and have a beer together." For the betterment of this country, we have to come together, he added. We have to sit down and listen to each other, and maybe even have a beer. In the spirit of bipartisanship and cooperation, I raise this glass to my colleagues, both Democrats and Republicans. I mean, he's right. People do need to take some time and work more together. See where we do have common ground, because, I mean, this dude's not going to represent me. But he needs to work with the people who do represent me. So we got to put some of this partisan bullshit behind us and actually start getting into some stuff. But on the other side of it, after he comes out and says, well, they worship him on TV, but they talk about him behind his... I don't know. I'm mixed about this guy, but I think it's pretty epic that he cracked the beer and made this sermon-like speech on the House floor. All right, let's keep going. From the Hill, Senator-elect Tommy Tuberville suggests he'll back an effort on challenge of the Electoral College vote. From Tal Axelrod, Senate-elect Tommy Tuberville indicated in a video that surfaced Thursday that he thinks that the Senate should support a challenge, let me get the autoplay stopped, to the results of the Electoral College, which certified President-elect Joe Biden's victory this week. Tuberville suggested he would back a challenge Representative Mo Brooks has vowed to bring against the vote. If a senator joins Brooks, it would require a House and Senate to debate and then vote on the issue. You see what's coming. You've been reading about it in the House. We're going to have to do it in the Senate, Tuberville said in the video taken by liberal activists Lauren Windsor at a rally for Senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue in Georgia. It appeared that Tuberville believed he was speaking with another rally-goer rather than a liberal activist, and Windsor asked the senator-elect what he could do to fight to make this election right. The video was taken Wednesday night. Oh, cool. We're coming with receipts. Let's have a listen, because that's what we do with stuff like this. Ron, wake up. Elephant Man and Chalaga miss you.
Folks, we got to grab a hold and hold on. We have no choice. Listen to me now. We have no choice but to win this election. They're going to try to steal it. They're going to try to buy it. They're going to do everything they can, lie, cheat, and steal to win this election, like they did in the presidential election. It's impossible. It is impossible what happened. But we're going to get that all corrected. I'm going to tell you, don't give up on it.
Are you going to fight to make this election right?
Pardon?
Are you going to fight to make this election right?
We're going to fight hard.
What can y'all do on January 6th? Madison said y'all had tricks up your sleeve.
We're going to run to it at the airport. We got to
Just wait. Well, you see what's coming. You've been reading about it in the House.
The Democrats are not going to.
And we're going to do it in the Senate.
I'm sorry.
Folks, we got to grab a hold and hold on.
All right, so that is what's coming from Tommy Tuberville. Y'all said y'all gonna fight this till the end, okay? What y'all gonna do about? I love that accent. I really do. And, I mean, there are still routes to go down with this. And wasn't it Nixon that got in by having the recount done in the House and the Senate by Congress? It was something within this within the last century. I don't remember which president it was, but one of them had all this come down to the wire and get down to the House of Representatives, I believe, and had the recount done by them, and all of a sudden wind up be the president. I think it was Nixon. But we will see what happens for this. And like I said, look at the reality show aspect of this, and look at the fact that the mainstream media gods are looking at this and saying, oh no, what are we going to do for the next 4 years? We're going to have to cover Biden's dogs. Oh my God. People aren't going to hate click our website. We're not going to sell ads anymore. What are we going to do? I could see this turning around at the end. I mean, we've got a reality TV star for a president, so can't you see? Can't you see where this could end? I'll address this at the end, but I've got comments on what you just said, Chilaga. From the Daily Wire, Georgia conducting statewide signature match review of absentee ballots. From Tim Pierce. Georgia is conducting a statewide review of signatures on absentee ballots after weeks of pressure from President Trump and his campaign. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger announced the statewide review in a press release on Thursday. So they decided that they're finding enough problems in a couple counties that they are going to do this all across the state at this point. We do have a resident Georgian in the live chat. I saw her earlier in here. Is Jessica still in here? How do you feel about that one? So, yeah, they're just going to keep going through the whole state. We don't need to go through this. We know what's going on with this. Nobody believes what happened in Georgia. Raffensperger waited until after the Electoral College voted, and now they're going to go back and they're going to review all this. Because I do believe that Kemp and Raffensperger want to see a Republican control stay in the representation of Georgia, which means getting these 2 Senate seats. I just don't think that they wanted Trump there. I really don't. But, once again, reality show politics. I don't know how much of this is actually real and how much of this is put on for the show. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside. Come inside. All right, from the Blaze. Speaking more election stuff, Michigan says Elections Department does not use compromised SolarWinds Orion software. The state says there's no indication the state network was affected by the compromised software. No, they were just affected by the fact that we're going to put plywood up on the windows. Don't you look in while we're counting. Yep, back behind the barrier. You can watch us count until you can't. But don't you dare look in and look at the signatures or anything. From Chris Pandolfo, as multiple U.S. federal agencies reported breaches by hackers who used a compromised software manufactured by IT company SolarWinds to infiltrate government network computers. The state of Michigan says that so far there's no indication that the state network was affected. Michigan, a key battleground state in the 2020 presidential election, has been the focus of multiple allegations of voter fraud and election irregularities made by lawyers for President Trump's campaign and others. When reports emerged earlier this week that a highly sophisticated, targeted, and manual supply chain attack by a nation-state compromised SolarWinds Orion suite of network management software, rampant speculation immediately began as to whether the cyber attack somehow influenced the 2020 U.S. presidential election in Michigan and elsewhere. In short, no, it didn't. When did this change that these machines are actually hooked up to the internet too? That's what I'm just trying to figure out. Forever and ever and ever. When did this change? When did they start getting hooked up to the internet? Because that was the promise that was made to me. 4 years ago. I think it was more than that. I think it was 8 years ago. As to the safety of the Scantron machines. Because that's what we use in Wisconsin as a Scantron style one. But the safety of these machines was the fact that they were never hooked up to the internet and they couldn't be hacked. And now all of a sudden they're all being hooked up to the internet? What the hell? What the hell, people? Come on. Do better. Do much better. But apparently, no, that was not hooked to this SolarWinds software, according to a press release. So that part of it should be above board. Today, Dominion CEO denied the company had ever had any businesses with Orion SolarWinds, the tech company involved in a major scandalous hack. It is not yet 100% certain that it did use Orion SolarWinds, but we know that the Michigan government did. So apparently they did. Michigan's saying that they didn't. I don't care. Let's just hand count this thing and look at all the signatures, dude. All right? Come on. All right. From Politico. Nuclear weapons agents breached amid massive cyber onslaught. This is from Natasha Bertrand. The Energy Department and National Security Administration, which maintains the U.S. nuclear weapons stockpile, have evidence that hackers accessed their networks as part of an extensive espionage operation that has affected at least a half a dozen federal agencies, officials directly familiar with the matter said. On Thursday, DOE and NNSA officials began coordinating notifications about the breach to their congressional oversight bodies after being briefed by Rocky Campione, the chief information officer at the Department of Energy. They found suspicious activity in networks belonging to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, Sandia, Los Alamos National Laboratories in New Mexico and Washington, the Office of Secure Transportation at NNSA, and the Richmond Field Office at the DOE. The hackers have been able to do more damage at FERC than the other agencies, and officials there have the evidence of highly malicious activity, the official said, but did not elaborate. The official said the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, which has been helping to manage federal response to the broad hacking campaign, indicated to FERC this week that CISA was overwhelmed and might not be able to allocate the necessary resources to respond. The DOE will therefore be allocating extra resources to FERC to help investigate the hack, even though FERC is a semi-autonomous agency, the official said. So, at this point, the SolarWinds thing has affected agencies that are involved with government secrets, voting software, allegedly, and the nuclear stockpile. I don't know if you guys want to start drinking soda out of glass bottles so you have plenty of bottle caps for after the vault cracks back open, but I would start recommending that. So we can trade in bottle caps coming up in the next 200 years. Because it's kind of looking like Fallout might actually happen. Maybe even in 2077. Alright, I got just a few more here, then we will do the thanks for the live chat here. So if you are lurking right now, get that message in the live chat, even if you are a big Twitcher. From the Hill, longtime GOP strategist Steve Schmidt announces he's registering as a Democrat. From Jordan Williams. Longtime GOP strategist Steve Schmidt announced that he is registering as a Democrat after nearly 30 years with the Republican Party. Schmidt made the announcement during an episode of the Battleground podcast published Monday, as he and co-host David Plouffe were discussing the Republican House members and state attorneys general that backed the Texas's ill-fated election lawsuit before the Supreme Court. I spent 29 years as a Republican. I spent 2.5 as an independent, and later this afternoon, I will register as a member of the Democratic Party. Socialist, Schmidt told Plouffe. Because in America today, it's only the Democratic Party, which is the oldest political party in the world, that stands for the ideas and ideals of communist Russia. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not what he said. He said, of American liberty. Really? Show me one, and I gotta ask this. I mean, dude, Schmidt is not a Republican. He's a fucking neocon, war hawk. And if the ideals of American liberty is going to war with brown people over oil, then count me the fuck out of the GOP. I will tell you that right now. And don't call me American either, if that's what American ideals are. But, I mean, this guy, he was just a fucking neocon shill. There's legitimately no difference between neocons and neoliberals at this point. So, all he has to do is change the letter after his name. But, dude, no. Tell me what is about liberty of, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. And you know what? All I'm asking you to do is be forced to, be forced to purchase health insurance, okay? That's all I'm asking you to do. That's all I want you to do. That's American liberty. I'm forcing you to buy something. That's American liberty. I'm telling you, right now. Okay? That's liberty. This is liberty. Okay, putting cups for everybody is liberty. And we will also make sure that nobody is allowed to make a certain amount of money, because that is American liberty. What part of the Democrat Party right now represents American liberty anywhere? And GOP, I'm looking at you fuckers too, because you're not doing it either. But what part of the Democrat platform has anything to do with American liberty? And I recommend you go out and check out Lunch Break with John over on the Generational Gap channel, because he will sit down and tell you what liberty is. He sat down, he had the definition of it, and it's not what is coming out of the Democrat Party. So, fuck you, Steve Schmidt. Good riddance. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody gives a fuck about you. All right, from Fox Business. Biden Interior nominee Deb Haaland is anti-fracking, co-sponsored AOC's Green New Deal. From Caitlin McFall. President-elect Joe Biden announced who will lead his climate team, including a co-sponsor of the Green New Deal, Representative Dave Haaland, on Thursday night. The undeniable, accelerating, punishing reality of climate change is exacting an incalculable toll on lives and livelihoods in every community across the country, a Biden-Harris transition team official said in a statement. They will be working closely with communities who bear the outsized burden of environmental injustice, including tribal nations and communities of color. Oh, I see, it's racism all over again. And young Americans who will live with the long-term consequences of climate change, they added. If confirmed, Haaland will make history as the first Native American to serve as Secretary of the Interior, a branch of government that oversees the U.S. natural resources, heritage, and tribal lands. While Haaland's nomination has been met with applause from Democratic leadership, conservatives have voiced their concerns about the anti-fracking New Mexico lawmaker who opposes the oil and gas industry prevalent in her home state. Dude, I don't understand the Native American nation. I don't get it. I don't know how a Native American at this point could hold office. Because as far as I understand, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be way off on this, but as far as I understood, if you're a member of a Native American nation, you're not a U.S. citizen, is the way that I understand it, because you're on sovereign land. You're not on U.S. land. Which also makes me wonder why it is that they vote. I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm pleading ignorance to this, because I don't know how this works. But therefore, I don't know how this woman could be eligible to hold public office. And that's not to say that if that's what the Department of Interior regulates, that's not to say that this woman should be doing that, because she should. She actually has a vested interest in what's going on with Native American lands. And this honestly should have been done much, much sooner, rather than having some rich old oil baron be the Secretary of the Interior. But with that being said, it goes back once again to qualifications, not color of your skin. And if this is, I'm not going to say if I'm going to ban fracking or not, even though it said it on my website, and I'm appointing a Secretary of the Interior who's going to ban fracking. Okay, I got hairy legs. We're getting our answers now. He said what he needed to do to get elected in, and now we're going to see what this administration could do. Barring, of course, some last-minute cliffhanger going up into the next season of The Federal Apprentice. All right. From the Daily Wire, potential Biden ambassador pick took millions in PPP loans while winning hundreds of millions in settlements. Yeah, that's the face that's going to be coming across the news for the next 4 years. That's the face that's going to be looking at you. You're going to see that face in your dreams, guys. From Ash Shao. Should see if we can get Ash Shao on the Red Ned Show at some point, because I know somebody that knows her. I've never met her personally, but I know Brady Leonard over at the No Gimmicks podcast knows her. All right, Democrat Joe Biden is reportedly considering a trial lawyer as a potential ambassador pick, yet his attorney has raked in millions of dollars from the coronavirus relief bill passed earlier this year, while at the same time securing hundreds of millions of dollars in settlements. The Washington Free Beacon reported that Joseph Rice, who co-founded Motley Rice Law Firm in South Carolina, raised more than $100,000 for Biden's presidential campaign, while his employees donated another $50,000 to Biden and more money to other Democrats. Now Rice is possibly up for an ambassadorship, according to the local paper. Oh, no, but it sucked when Donald Trump's friends, they all bought their cabinet positions and their ambassadorships. You shouldn't be able to be an ambassador if you bought your position. Joseph Rice. As the Free Beacon reported, Rice's law firm received $7.03 million from the Paycheck Protection Program, the coronavirus relief program designed to help struggling small businesses when the state's government shut down their livelihoods as part of the pandemic. And you wonder why this program ran out of money and they had to scramble and beg to have the money refilled. Because million-dollar law firms that are pulling $26 billion settlements took advantage and took millions out of this. Do you know how many restaurants that $7.03 million could have held up? If this rich fucking turd wasn't able to take it. This is an incredibly corrupt administration that's coming in. All right, it looks like we're back. So the browser locked up and took out the OBS with it, unfortunately. Sorry about that, guys. I kind of knew it was coming. F's in the chat. Big F's. Big F's for the stream, guys. All right, but it looks like we're back. It looks like we're back up and ready to go here. So, yeah, the browser locked up, and I knew that it was about to disconnect and kick off. All right, let's finish out here so we can read the chat and head on out of here. I got to get to work at some point yet this morning, too. Got just a couple more, including one that was submitted by Spartan over on the Discord. From the New York Post. Tiger King star Joe Exotic sues Justice Department over rejected pardon from Zachary Folk. Tiger King star Joe Exotic is suing the U.S. Justice Department over the Trump administration's rejecting of his official pardon request, according to a report. Exotic, whose real name is Joseph Maldonado Passage, argues that denial is not valid because the request was not presented directly to President Trump himself. The suit names acting pardon attorney Rosalind Sargent Burns, according to a 6-page complaint filed by Exotic's lawyers and obtained by Courthouse News. The Big Cat aficionado first submitted a pardon application on September 8th, and the Office of the Pardon Attorney emailed a response 2 days later denying the application. There's actually a process to this. You can actually go up and beg for a pardon? Really? I don't know. I've never been to prison. I have no idea if that's even possible or not. But according to this, it's possible. I have no idea. But I mean, you shouldn't go suing and throwing a temper tantrum over a rejected pardon either. That's kind of shady right there. But yeah, that is possibly the most 2020 thing of 2020. Joe Exotic, the Tiger King, is suing over a rejected pardon. I've still never seen that show, by the way. All right, from ABC News. We'll do this one. We'll look at this disturbing GoFundMe, and then we'll read the chat and head on out of here. New body camera video shows events immediately following Ahmaud Arbery shooting. We actually could watch this here too because they've got it right up off the top. I don't know if this is a news report or the actual footage. I think this is the actual footage, but that's a still. No, they don't give us the footage unless it's in this video here, but newly released footage from police body cameras showing the immediate aftermath of the Ahmaud Arbery shooting showed that officers were aware that the shooting of the unarmed black jogger has been filmed by the suspects. Can I say that on YouTube anymore at this point? After that got co-opted by the 4chan community, can I even say that? The body camera footage from the February 23rd shooting in Satilla Shores, Georgia, was entered into evidence this week and was obtained by Atlanta ABC affiliate WSB on Tuesday. The footage shows officers speaking to Gregory McMichael, his son, Travis McMichael, who prosecutors say chased the 25-year-old Arbery while he was running and shot him and William Roddy Bryan, who prosecutors say drove behind the McMichaels and filmed the entire incident. Gregory McMichael is seen in the body cam footage talking to his son as a Glynn County, Georgia police officer arrives minutes after the shooting. "Travis, Roddy's got it on film," the elder McMichael said in the footage. In the video, the McMichaels claim they shot Aubrey, who was unarmed, in self-defense in the middle of a burglary in the neighborhood. Gregory McMichael, a former officer and investigator for the Brunswick District Attorney's Office, tells the officers in the body cam footage that he had his police issue .357 Magnum on him. Don't they usually use a 9? Since when do you use a revolver in police work? In part of the body cam footage, one of the responding police officers is seen acknowledging Greg McMichael's law enforcement history while speaking to another officer. When the police questioned Bryan, they asked if he was a passerby during the incident, which he responded not necessarily. According to the footage in the video, Bryan admits to following Aubrey, blocking him in and filming the incident. "This man stood feet apart from where my son lay, shot to death, and seems to brag about this part," Aubrey's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, said in a statement about the body cam footage. "He and all involved must be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law." And yeah, they should, absolutely. As long as they're tried by a jury of their peers and not by a jury of public opinion. Innocent until proven guilty by a jury of your peers. And this doesn't change anything. We don't get to see much of anything else. I was hoping that this could possibly have changed what happened with this, but then I remembered that McMichael was not an active police officer and he was off duty, so he wouldn't have had his body camera on him at the time. If this was a murder, then it needs to go down as a murder. If this was some sort of defense, then it needs to go down as defense. But from all the available evidence, I really can't tell you what this was. And of course, Candace Owens will come out and tell you, "Well, this guy stole an eraser from a school back in 2001, and therefore he deserved to be killed." And then she'll go and release the home address of his mother and everybody who tries to defend him, because it's Candace Owens. The reality is, we don't know what happened with this. There's a lot of suspicious activity on both sides. I don't know who was in the right for this. I don't. I know a lot of people pretend to know who was in the right. All that I know for certain from this is that 4chan users got a great new hidden racial slur that they can use in public YouTube chat. Joggers. Those joggers. I'm telling you. All right. I got some surprise cringe for you. This might go on to the Red Ned show too with Harvey McLeod. So pay attention to see how Harvey reacts to this one. But Spartan threw this GoFundMe up in the Discord chat over the night last night. And you know what? If you guys want to throw a bit of money the way of this GoFundMe, do it. Because this person seriously needs help, okay? GoFundMe.com. Come on. Help Emily get puberty blockers she urgently needs. It's got 14,000 pounds of its 13,000 pound goal already. Emma Williams is organizing this fundraiser on behalf of Helly Welly. A plea from a mom of a 13-year-old trans girl who has had puberty blocking medication snatched from her grasp following the court ruling against the Tavistock and Portman Gender Identity Clinic on 1st December 2020. Hi, I'm Emma, mom to Emily, my wonderful 13-year-old daughter, who just happens to be transgender. Emily's been a patient at the Tavistock and Portman GIDS Clinic for the last 3 years and has been diagnosed with a gender dysphoria. She was just weeks away from getting puberty-blocking medications prescribed by the NHS clinic when the crushing blow of legal ruling from Bell vs. Tavistock legal case came crashing down on the 1st of December, effectively stopping Tavistock Clinic from prescribing blockers to under 16s. While Tavistock considers appealing the ruling, which there is no guarantee they will win, my daughter is starting puberty. Her body is changing, a body she already struggles to live in. So, her now getting access to blockers is a terrible blow. Without access to blockers, I don't think that she will make it through the next years. Bollocks, I say. Bollocks. So, if I understand correctly, that's a little dude who wants to be a little girl. I think is how I understand this. And either hasn't decided to go through puberty or her mom wants to make sure. I don't understand any of this. I really don't. I live in the country for a reason. Because then I don't have to deal with any of this shit. But this is going to be the next thing that's coming up off of this. But, I mean, can't you find in your heart? Throw a couple pounds at these people. She desperately, desperately needs puberty blockers. Just throw a couple pounds. Can you find it in your heart? Can you find it there? Help them out. All right, that's enough of that. And we're going to get that face up off the screen too. Let's go find this one. No, not that one. That's not the one I wanted. Where's my other Daily Wire article? Did I close it? No, I didn't. Right there. That's who's going to watch you while we're reading the live chat. Right there. And we'll get the live chat up over here for you guys. But with that, we will go ahead and... Uh-oh, did I get bumped off YouTube again? It looks like I might have. That would be lame. Anyway, let's read the name of the live chat here and let's see what's going on with this. It looks like I'm still connected, so I have no idea. Let's find out, I guess. No, apparently I'm still on. Technology. I'm so boomerish at it. All right. So, on Monday we had a busy day. We had Ron Helton. We had Mad Cow Mark, who is our new resident from Australia. We had Elephant Man on Monday. Flancorp, our resident progressive. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Sully Blue was here for a little bit. Shilaga, McConnell Smuggles Coke. And then we had a couple of robots as well. EYQJ wanted us to buy bigfollows.com, and so did PRASTQWE1237. Bigfollows.com. On Tuesday, Mad Cow Mark came and hung out with us. Ron Helton. Chilaga 1984 and Silent Caster rounded that out. And thanks for checking us out from the other side of the world. Mad Cow Mark. On Wednesday was a slower day. We only had a couple people that day. We had Ron Helton and Chilaga going back and forth. So thanks you guys for coming and hanging out that day. I mean, I saw a lot of people popped in and viewed, but it must have been a lot of lurkers. Yesterday, we had Ron Helton, Chilaga, Flancorp, our resident progressive, McConnell Smuggles Coke, Silent Caster, Sergeant Peterson, Elephant Man. And today we have... Let's get up to the top and see if we can find something sufficiently idiotic to read on the air, too. You guys never let me down. We have Elephant Man with the anime titties sticker. Ron Helton, just say no. Elephant Man with the AOC sticker. Jessica Green says Periscope is frozen for me. I have no idea. I never went back and looked at Periscope. I wonder if it is. But thanks for checking us out over on the YouTube side. Because nobody else can see you. Well, let me rephrase that. Everyone can see your Periscope chat if you're on Periscope, but you can't see everyone else's response to you. Jessica Green's got coffee. Coffee. I'm out of coffee. MK Ultra Bear 3330 rather. Must be a Joe Biden thing. Says good morning to us all. Thank you for coming and hanging out. This market is operating in bizarro range. That's true. Ron wouldn't have any money in the stock market right now. It's all smoke and mirrors. Buy Birch Gold, folks. Gold is never worth nothing, okay? Just go ahead and buy Birch Gold. Hedge your investments and help me go and buy more Birch Gold. 7,000 to 8,000 people die daily in the U.S. What are their current numbers? Maybe they will let us know someday. Let's see. Running on fumes then. Yeah. It's kind of moot since we know that we're injecting them with nothing. Thank you, Jessica Green. Come on, guys. Don't you want to take the virus? Don't you want to be good little citizens and take the vaccine? Do these clueless leaders think we give a damn about what they do? Because there are some simps who follow their lead because they have no brains of their own. Yeah, that's going to get everything shut down on Twitch. But it's always Twitch, so... I actually want to know what happens with the Restream bot in Twitch, because they're banning users that use the word simp in the live chat. But what happens to you guys who are going through like DLive or YouTube that throw it through the Restream bot? Does the Restream bot get banned? Is that what happens with that? Because, well, that would suck for Twitch, because then you wouldn't be able to see anything. But, yeah, that's what I have to wonder. If 5 years isn't long enough, I'm not putting in a half-baked 8-month-old vaccine. Walmart actually matches 6%. My job match. Okay, that's your 401k. What are we tisking about? I disagree with that on direct payments, but would rather that money go directly to businesses shut down by the government and unemployed. Flancorp wants his Trump bucks. Welcome on in, Flancorp and Elephant Man. Yeah, I don't. We don't have the money for that. We really don't. For any of it. Just open the businesses already. Nobody cares. J. Edgar's Bernie has a touch of Pakistani. My pudding cups have a touch of Pakistani. And they have a touch of turmeric because it is Pakistani, okay? Turmeric in my pudding cup. Turmeric in my tapioca. Read your super chats and get an AMD system. Yeah, I actually an MSI B450 Tomahawk with an AMD Ryzen 7 is what I'm working on building. It's what I'm trying to build money up for. Sex is work, not the... Oh! Burn! Nice, Flancorp. I love it. Greater good is collectivist. F. Maslow, it's Elfman's enhanced triangle of needs. The 4D quadrant graph is not precise enough for me. The triangle is actually a 2D representation of a 3-dimensional graph. Nice. You can't square my sphere. I'll square your sphere, okay? Ron nodded off, it looks like. Quote, if stream is our sleeper, why do you look like you're going to shoot cum guy? I don't know. Ask my ex-fiance. It's always one. It's always Twitch. Dual citizenship. Elephant Man can't wait for Biden to be president. We have F's in the chat for when we drop the stream for a little bit here. And yeah, they could hear me typing. And pay a President Clinton for a pardon as well. Mark Rich. I saw sharks sticking out of a roof, and normally I would stop and ask questions, but it's 2020, so I kept driving. Nice. Do we want to become famous? Should we click on bigfollows.com? Thank you, HT Luna 7 Fox 4, for helping me to become famous. Let's go there. Bigfollows.com, okay? CG4R4NT2257. Want to become famous. Buy followers, primes, and viewers. CLCK.RU. Yeah, that doesn't look suspicious at all. Jessica Green disapproves of the young lady. Or the young dude that wants to become a young lady. Ship in the Biden campaign while you're at it. MK Ultra was lurking all week. Well, you're here. Post Jazz is here. With the last minute lurk at the Pakistani Berkey. Putting more like curry. Shit got philosophical with Elephant Man for a minute there. And Ron Helton will get last word for the week and says Native Americans have dual, in some cases triple citizenship. The Kickapoos here are also allowed to enter Mexico and get their reservation in Mexico. And that's going to be it for the week here. So, thank you, everybody who came and hung out with all the rest of us throughout the week. It's been a busy week, definitely. And you guys are awesome and awesome for chatting. And thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I owe you guys an Ed Talk, and I think, you know what? Given what's just happened recently in my life, we're going to do that this Saturday. So, Q&A and call-in this coming Saturday at 5:30. That's tomorrow, 5:30 Central Time, p.m. Be there. We've got a phone number now, so you can use your cell phone and call into the show. You don't have to be on Discord for it, but I'd prefer you to come in on Discord, come and hang out. The link is in the description below you, so look forward to that. And 1 full hour of live chat reading. I owe you guys a net talk. We've been doing it across the board every Saturday. I've been neglecting you guys, and I'm sorry. So we owe you a net talk. Let's get a net talk going here for you guys. We'll do that coming up this Saturday. Coming back up on Monday, we will have more contemporary because I'm sure that there will be a bunch of stuff happening over the week and over the weekend. So join us for that. And keep in mind that the RedNet Show will not have our feature co-host for the week. Elaine is on vacation in Florida with her kid. I told her that I streamed from Florida, but, because she's got the kid with her, we'll let her have the vacation. So join us at 7 p.m. Central Time on Monday for the RedNet Show featuring the lovely Harvey McLeod. Looking forward to that as well. And thank you in advance to Harvey for sitting in for Elaine while she goes and takes a vacation. She needs it, and she needs the time with the kid, so let her have the time with the kid, and we will see her back the week after Christmas. Definitely looking forward to all that. Looking forward to seeing more of you guys here and seeing your chat for tomorrow for the Ed Talk. If we get 20 people chatting in the live chat on Ed Talk this weekend, we will go for 90 minutes. 90 minutes. So get all your friends in there. 20 people on the bottom of the live chat screen, and we'll go for 90 minutes. Looking forward to that too. So come and hang out no matter where we are. We've got plenty of opportunities for you. Come and check out Freedom Scoop. We will be back here next time for the next episode that you choose to check out. Until then, I'm Jay Edgar, and this is Contemporary.